3D LifePrints is a medical 3D printing company. Everything we do starts with a patient scan, and we take that scan and then create things from it.
The core of our work is embedding 3D printing hubs in trusts, in hospitals, and supplying the hospitals, surrounding trusts, surrounding universities and other companies with 3D printed solutions to their problems.
For example, if you have a patient who has a problem with their heart, you would take a CT scan of their heart. We would then use the data to build a copy of that patient's heart in perfect one-to-one scale and in a suitable material. Well, I think the most powerful response I've had to a model when I provided it to a surgeon was for a scoliotic spine that we provided at Alder Hey Hospital. And once we provided it, within 2 minutes of giving it to the surgeons, they'd scrapped their previous plan for the surgery and changed it completely 180 degrees. They decided to do a different entry point. They took that model into surgery with them, and it reduced the time of that surgery by 3 or 4 hours. Surgery time's running at £2,000 an hour. That's a massive saving in terms of time, but also in terms of the patient, it's a game changer. They have a much shorter operation with a much greater chance of success. We export some pretty unusual stuff. We export some prosthetics, and also we do some stuff with mind risk education. These are programs that are run by large government or NGOs around the world to kind of educate people about landmines, about ordnance, and so we make models for those programs. When I first came to speak to DIT, it was about how can I ship these unusual items and not get stopped in customs. So we spoke to, there's a gentleman called Steve Rapley, who is our personal advisor. He was incredibly helpful about setting us up with meetings with the right people, putting in touch, for example, with the embassies in the countries we're sending these products to, and he's been a tremendous help to us.
Being able to have that guidance from Newable is really it's reassuring from a export perspective, and you can go about your business with that added confidence.
The most helpful thing has really been the connections. We don't have a big black book of connections, and he's able to put me in touch with the embassies. Really helpful, because someone on the ground is very helpful for me, just so they can validate the process, so I know who it is I'm going to be sending stuff to. I know that when I send it by FedEx that someone's going to be picking up who's legitimate. And that's been the most useful thing, I'd say. We've exported to Turkey, we've exported to Jordan, we've exported to the Sudan, we've exported to Mali. These are not standard countries, and I do need a bit of help to get me to those places. Now I see moving into hospitals around the UK and around the world as our next big objective. DIT can really help us with that expansion process. I really need some in-depth analysis of where I should be, how I can get there, and who I should be speaking to. We're a relatively confident pushing business anyway. We're a small business, but we've got big ambitions. But I think sometimes having that backup, that wealth of knowledge, somewhere someone can come in and give you a proper answer to a question you didn't really have the answer to, that's something that gives you a lot of confidence.